Good morning.
It's dirty, but it's actually really...
So today we have an apartment showing. So we're not officially apartment hunting, but I saw these apartments go on Street Easy, and if you knew me back in 2019 when I first moved to New York, these were like my dream apartments. And it's funny because I've never even seen these apartments in person, but I always wanted to live there, and it's just been my dream for like the last 4 years. This is a bad / good habit, but I've been trying to eat healthier lately. So instead of eating chips and everything, I've been eating pickles. I know it's a very controversial topic. I don't know why, but the mini pickles are just so much better than the big pickles. I think lately we've just been outgrowing the space a little bit. Ever since the beginning of the year, you guys might have known that like the flooding happened. But from like more like spiritual and feeling level, I just feel like me and my boyfriend James are both like moving on to our next phase of life, and like we're kind of just outpacing what this apartment has provided for us, especially since lately there's always just been like packages and different things coming in that we don't really have space for. And also because we live in a 1-bedroom apartment, I feel like there's not enough space for the two of us plus moves. And the very last reason, which I feel like I talk about pottery every single video, but I think that's been on my mind a lot lately because I kind of really wanted to set up like a home studio for days that I can't go into the pottery studio in the morning. So I feel like from a need perspective, we're just moving on to a new chapter where we do need a little bit more space, because right now I can't do any artistic stuff at home at all, and then there's a lot of clutter all the time. And yeah, so that's kind of the mini spiel I've been giving people about why we're looking at apartments now. And honestly, I just want to see the lofts today so that I know what my dream apartment looks like. Anyways, let us go see some apartments. So besides the broker being an hour late, the apartment showings actually went pretty smoothly. So we saw a total of 4 units, and the first one that we saw was this north-facing big giant studio. I think it was over 1,000 square feet, and clearly you can see from the footage that it was huge. But my biggest quip with this one was that it was north-facing, and you can kind of tell that the sunlight isn't coming in. It was facing this nice little courtyard in the back, which meant that it would probably be a little more peaceful here than if we were facing a street. But ultimately, this one didn't feel exactly right, and I think it's because there was no separation of space. So as much as I love the long studio layout, we did have to pay extra money if we wanted to break the space into different rooms. And I did ask James to get me a thumbnail, so if you see him like moving me around, that is what he's doing. But on to the next apartment. So I ended up not filming the next two because people were still in the apartments, but the final unit that they took us to was gobsmacking spectacular. Like, I literally am ready to move in right now, but my budget does not warrant it. The broker definitely knew what he was doing because this one was above our budget, but he was showing it to us because it was unlisted and it hadn't gone onto the market yet. But he told us the price would be $5,500, which is already way too much for us, and my heart just sank. But obviously, of course, how could we live in such a nice place and pay little rent, right? They did try very hard to get us to sign though, as you can see.
If you want to take it before it goes to the market.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, the south-facing units go quickly, like that one next door. I had a bunch of people, and
Is that one I think was the one that we were
And
That's
Chris,
what, yeah.
but by the way, you told them 5,500 and I get an honor it.
And just in the apartment hunting spirit, I'm going to show you guys an apartment that we actually saw in January and ended up not taking, which I continuously think back on this and I regret not taking this because this apartment was 3 beds, 2 baths for $3,800 split between 2 people. And I definitely would have converted one of those rooms into a mini pottery studio. And I'm pretty sure James would do the same with the other room. And we would have 1 master bedroom. And look at this kitchen. This kitchen is just so good. Like, everything was so renovated because they had just renovated prior to listing this. There were 2 bathrooms, meaning I would never have to share a bathroom, and I just regret this one so much. I think at the time we weren't ready to move because we just renewed our lease, but right now I feel like we're just in a phase of wanting to move. And this one was $200 more than what we're paying now, but in New York, that is such a good deal. And I regret this to this day. But anyways, thank you for joining this impromptu apartment search. Good morning. This is the first time I'm using a cup that I made in the studio. I have a giant stash of ceramics now, but I will probably do a little ceramics tour in a later video. Anyways, I wanted to give you guys an apartment update after seeing the apartment. I'm just gonna be honest about it. It was so nice. The last one that they showed us was not listed yet, and so I hadn't seen pictures of it, but I really think that was my dream apartment. And then because we were there during the afternoon and it's south facing, the sunlight was coming in and everything was looking so good. I was ready to be like, take my money, but then they said that it was $6,000, and well, he said 5.5 thousand at least, and then the owner was also there and he was a little upset that he had said 5.5, and he, or maybe I think he wanted us to sign on to it. I don't know what like New York housing marketing scams there are, but I think he offered us a concession technically, and like was like, I can do 5.5 if you guys take it before I list it. But I think 5.5 is still way above our budget, and I would love to spend 5.5 a month on an apartment, obviously split between me and my boyfriend, so it would be like 2.25 a month. But wait, no, what, 2.75? I can't do that. So long story short, it was unfortunately too expensive for us, and I don't think we're at the point right now where we would get an apartment that's 5K a month. And the units that the broker showed us before that, which were 4K, which is still more than we pay right now, I didn't like it as much as the last one, and so yeah. Long story short, we're not going with apartments. I don't think the ones within our budget suited our means, and so for the time being, we're still here. But also, I've always been using this Anastasia eyebrow powder, and I kind of want to try something new, so if you guys have recommendations for eyebrow powders, definitely let me know. I also wanted to talk a little bit about why we are apartment hunting right now. I think I kind of hinted at it or mentioned it briefly, but I just feel like me and James, we've been living together for a year and a half and love this apartment. I feel like it suited us very well for our first apartment that we've shared together. But I do think there's an element of we are both kind of moving on to the next chapter of our life, and this space itself, being a 1-bedroom apartment, sometimes does feel a little bit suffocating. And then you add Moose into the mix, and I always feel bad that we don't have enough running space for him. We have a nice living room, but I think it looks bigger most of the time than it actually is because I use 0.5 to take footage or pictures of it. The relationship also feels like it's moving forward into the next stage of life. We're thinking about expanding our cat family. Like, we want to get another cat. And then the biggest thing I think is like from a career change perspective, I don't know how much I've opened up before about James's career, and if you're a first-time viewer, James is my boyfriend, but we've been dating for almost 7 years now, and I feel like every 3 years we go through entering a phase of being a new relationship, because just by nature of like our careers and the people that we were becoming. James is also working in tech like me. He does business, but he's been working really hard lately on his own creative side hustle. I've been encouraging him to like post content, and ever since he had one video go viral, he's been just on his content grind. And for those of you who have tried content before or are content creators, you know how much work it goes into actually like producing good content, and I think he's been focused very much on that, and it's really served him so well, and I'm like so proud of him. But because of that, he's also trying to figure out how to output as quickly as possible, and he's working on at the same time concurrently like a fashion brand. I've been trying to jump in and support as much as I can. Like yesterday I was helping him draw out some logo options, and it was fun for me because I haven't done graphic design in so long, but I've always been in a position where I want to support the person that I'm dating and that I love. And so from like a space perspective, he now has a ton of stuff coming in all the time. On my end, I feel like I've been very heavily prioritizing pottery lately, and you can probably see that most of the time that I go into the pottery studio is actually at nighttime, because that's the only time that I have to do pottery because I have a job. And so on a good day, I'll get into the pottery studio right after work, and then on a normal day, or like most days, I just go in around like 10 p.m. It's been getting harder and harder because there's things about like getting to the pottery studio at 10 p.m. that I feel like isn't the best. So one of it is like the street. There's no alleyways in New York City, but the street that I go down to get to the pottery studio is actually very scary at night. And so I don't really want to be in a position ever, because my pepper spray got taken last week at the airport, where safety is at risk or anything going to the pottery studio. I mean, New York City's been pretty good to me so far, but lately with all the news and everything, I'm just kinda scared a little bit. But yeah, we both have our own little spaces that we go to now, and so I feel like on a whole we see each other a lot less. It's a little bittersweet, obviously, because we used to do a lot of things together, like cook, and I feel like we used to see each other a lot more. But on the days that I go into the office, sometimes I actually don't even see James because I come home and he's already at the studio, or I have plans after work to see a friend, and then I get back home pretty late, and then we are on our grind just doing our own things. Like I'll usually be editing and he'll also be editing or trying to figure out something with manufacturing for his clothing line, and so we're just sitting in the same room but doing different things, and it doesn't always feel engaged and as actively of a relationship as it used to. I think we both are on the same page about how we feel about this, which is obviously this is not like a long-term sustainable way to approach a relationship, and like there's time we need to give to each other and time that we can like carve out. But because we've been dating for 7 years, and because this is like to us like a very like critical core time in our like personal development, both in career and like mental space, I think we've given each other the space that we need, while also trying to support. And I don't know if this is common for like long-term relationships or relationships where both people are in their mid-20s, but I just feel like it's something that we're going through now, and I'm so proud that we're both hustling and working hard. And so yeah, little relationship update. I don't even know if this is like an update, it's just kind of where we are. Just wanted to chat. So cheers to growing up and relationships growing up as well. So I went back home to Maryland over the weekend and honestly spent most of it working in my room. It's really weird calling it my room because I spent most of my childhood not having a room to myself. And I don't think I've shared this before, but I poured all my savings a year and a half ago into helping my parents buy a home. It doesn't feel like my home yet, especially since I don't always come back to visit and I don't have time to visit. But the responsibility I feel more and more as an adult is to provide for my family. And so it's been really meaningful for me to see my parents' quality of life improve, all because of a new space. And as we get older, the time that I get with my family is also more precious to me because I don't really get to see them that often. So that is also why I don't tend to vlog as much when I'm at home. But it was a very short trip and I made my way back to New York City. As you can see, I finally got to be in the studio during the daytime. I started this hand building class after wheel throwing ended, which I haven't been very good at updating you guys on my pottery journey because I feel like I have a backlog of all this footage that I haven't used yet because I've just been a little bit busy at work. But we did make this face that looks like a pair of jeans if you flip it upside down. Good morning. The weather in Brooklyn is slightly rainy, slightly sassy, and very classy. One of you guys commented on one of my recent videos about how it feels just like slightly different, like a different vibe, but I seem so much happier. And I was actually at work when I got that comment and I was like tearing up because I don't know, the fact that you guys noticed that I've been happier lately really affects me because I always want to put out positive vibes, but it made me realize that for the longest time in my videos, I think the tone was just slightly depressing because of just like my mental state. But I'm just glad to be in a better state sharing that with you guys. Anyways, James is getting a tattoo today. I don't know why I'm excited. So I persuaded him to go to my tattoo artist that I went to in my tattoo video, if you guys watched that, and she had this really great flash that I was just too scared to get because it was just a lot bigger, and so I ended up showing it to him and he liked it, so he's getting it now. But it's just such a good design. Like, I feel like I'm gonna be kind of jealous. I'm gonna grab some coffee for everyone before I get there, but yeah. Good morning. I don't know why I always say it like that. I feel like when I see my friends, I'm just like, hey, what's up? What's up with you guys? I lied. It's not the morning. It's the afternoon. It is like lunchtime. So I should make some lunch. This is naengmyeon, instant naengmyeon. I'm gonna boil the bok choy. And then I think for these types of things, you just have to throw it into the water for like 2 minutes. 4 cups of water. I also wanted to give a mental health check-in. I think you can probably tell I've been in a better mood lately, and I think it's like a better mood with sprinkles of new types of anxiety and stress. I also started physical therapy this year. I've been going twice a week just to fix like my back pain, because once you hit your mid-20s, back pains happen if you work a corporate job. And also your posture sucks. And I didn't realize that back posture is associated with how you place your neck more than just like where your shoulders are, but maybe I'm just making that up. But like the person I go to, she was showing me how like a lot of people who work tech jobs, their necks shoot out like this. Like they kind of just like hunch over with their neck. And like to correct your posture, you bring your neck back and then you have a double chin. I think even though it is like my wellness year, I've been doing so many things like going to the gym, physical therapy, ceramics. I didn't like realize how much time that would take out of my whole week. And lately I feel like it's just been non-stop running around doing things. And then once you throw in social life and seeing friends, because it's getting warmer and everyone wants to hang out now, and because I love to do one-on-ones with people instead of group things, it just ends up taking so much time. And I realized looking at my schedule now that I thought having this wellness journey would mean that I sleep more this year, but I feel like I've actually been sleeping less, which is quite ironic. But as you can tell, like my mental health and my mental state's still pretty decent. Hard-boiled eggs and ice. Hi.
Hi. Goopy. You guys are so pretty. And your mother's beautiful.
I'm filming.
Oh. Didn't know you were filming. It's embarrassing.
No, it's
Don't
not.
air that. Family pick time.
Water is boiling. The instructions actually say to do this for 20 seconds. Gotta be quick with it, because I think otherwise the noodles start getting very sticky and not chewy anymore. Throw it in and start counting. One of these days you guys will see a less basic bowl that I made in the studio. It looks a little bit dramatic to have 4 eggs. Wanted to get my protein in. Oh, that one is so spicy. This is way spicier than the other one I had. This is really good though. Anyways, I think this is gonna be the end of the video. I hope you guys have the best week you've ever had to date this week. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Good?
Actually, very good. You wanna try some?
I should. I just go.